back. I'm joined by Dr. Casey Harbine for another edition of Morning Rounds. Thanks for joining us this morning.
Yeah.
Today's topic, everyone's favorite, STDs. So there has been a lot in the news, though, on a serious note, recently about the increased rates of STDs. So what's going on?
Yeah, you know, I find it actually fairly shocking as someone who grew up during the time of the HIV scare in the late 80s and 90s that this is on the rise again. There have been a lot of increased numbers of STDs, in particular gonorrhea, chlamydia, and syphilis, which was almost unheard of not that long ago.
Do we know why there has been an increase in STDs?
Well, you know, it's not really clear. Obviously, there's decreased use of condoms. I mean, condoms is the one thing that is really effective in preventing this. Maybe a misconception on how you can become infected. You know, it's important to remember and remind people that STDs not only are transmitted via vaginal intercourse, but also anal sex and oral sex can also transmit sexually transmitted diseases. Psychologically, are we talking about this less? I mean, is this something that maybe now that HIV has become such a treatable disease, that this is something that is of less concern or worry for people? I think one of the shocking things is that it's on the rise in younger people, ages 14 to 25. Are really having an increase in this. But it's not just them. I mean, middle-aged people are getting this as well.
Are there any treatments or long-term problems?
So, you know, that is one of the good things, I guess, about this, is that these can be pretty easily treated, especially if they're caught early. Gonorrhea, chlamydia, and syphilis are bacterial infections, so they can be treated. If they go unnoticed, which can happen, you know, sometimes the symptoms might be subtle and people aren't aware. In women, gonorrhea and chlamydia can cause something called pelvic inflammatory disease, can lead to infertility. Syphilis has the potential for going to our neurologic system and causing stroke-like symptoms. Wow. And then it's important to keep in mind, if these STDs are on the rise, there are viral things like HIV that are not curable that will also probably be on the rise because they go hand in hand.
So what are some of the screening recommendations then?
Well, in general, it is recommended to be tested for gonorrhea and chlamydia every 3 months if you are sexually active with multiple different partners. You know, I mean, the best thing is preventing, obviously, and using a condom. But it is recommended that people get tested for these things at least once, and certainly more frequently if they're more sexually active.
So in all, what is the best prevention?
Well, you know, not having sex would be the #1 best prevention. Then you can't get them. That's really not realistic for all of us. Using protection. Condoms are a good way of preventing these things. And then being in monogamous relationships and being open and talking about it and getting screened so it doesn't keep spreading.
All right, well, thank you so much for joining us this morning. If you have any questions you'd like answered on Morning Rounds, you can just email them right to us, morningrounds@kpax.com.